Hey everyone, just talking about technology. So I just recorded your course video for the week and my camera was acting weird. And sure enough, when I went back to look at the video, it was recording the screen upside down. I'm not sure why that happened, but hopefully this time it will record right side up and you'll be able to see it. So welcome to week 6. We're more than halfway done, or at least halfway done. This week you have a few projects to work on. So the first one, easy, you're just going to pick what your next technology project will be, which means that's the little deeper dive into one of the technologies that you present to the class. And so great job on the last one, really interesting and relevant technologies, and you did a good job of showcasing those. So I am going to, and I have put a folder in our Google Drive for your applied technology projects. So I would love for you to share your videos or however you recorded your presentation in that folder so that your classmates also have access to those. I think those were definitely really great opportunities to just share with each other, and then you get information about other projects that you don't have to do as deep a dive into. So if you have an opportunity, please either post your video in that folder or create a document with a link to your presentation. That is fine as well. And I know your classmates will appreciate having access to those. And then the second round of projects that we do, which is coming up, you can also put those in there, and then you'll have several to choose from if you ever decide you want to think about new technology and see how it works. So again, for this week, this is just a discussion forum. You're just going to actually put in there which technology you're going to be using. You have a reading response this week. This is about coding. Many of you talked about coding in your 3D modeling activities. And so this week is specific to coding programs and projects. And so I have you looking at some resources. What does the experts say about coding in kids? Some resources to look at, and then you're going to do a response to the questions in the reading in this discussion forum. And then you get a chance to explore some coding projects, software, apps, and then review them. And that's what you'll do in this project. So again, just a quick kind of look at one of them. A lot of you have already talked about Tinkercad. But yeah, there are lots of programs and projects to teach coding. And I think it was Jacob actually did a good job of highlighting some of those for his student grade level. The other thing that you're going to do this week is a professional project. And so this one's going to take a little bit longer. This one, you're actually going to review a professional resource and do a quick presentation on how that was useful in helping you to learn to teach STEM. And so some of you have already attended some PD on STEM other than this class. Some of you have not. So there's a couple of options here for how to complete this assignment. I've actually provided a list of PD's options. And so if we take a look at that, a couple of you attended the Oregon Science Teachers Conference earlier this month. And so if you did attend that, you can use that as your PD, and you can write about that and do your presentation on what you learned there. There's a couple of other options for webinars, workshops. ONREP and NSTA have digital workshops that you can participate in. There's lots of other ones. I didn't go into an extensive list. School districts also provide those professional development opportunities. And so if you've attended one through your district, as long as it was STEM focused, meaning it has to have been connected to more than one content area. If it was just a math focused one or just a science focused one, I wouldn't say that necessarily would be sufficient unless you can talk about what you took away from that as being something you can use to integrate these content areas into a more project-based approach to teaching. And so if none of these options work, then you can also, there's some digital curriculum. You could take a look at STEM Scopes. They let you preview some of that for free. You can look at NASA STEM engagement. You could actually check out the Oregon STEM Hubs and more specifically the one in your region and find out, what are the resources they provide. So there are lots of other options. If you can think of something else, I know Oregon Ag in the Classroom is another one. Project Learning Tree is another one that they do a lot of workshops and work with teachers. So those are other options. But so any of those that aren't listed, if you want to shoot me a quick email and just say, hey, this is what I'm thinking. Does this make sense? I just want to make sure that you don't do the whole project and then not get credit because it isn't really STEM. So keep these things in mind. Is it relevant to STEM technology or teaching STEM? Is it provided by a reputable agency or source? Is it going to provide you with new information and resources that will help you develop and grow as a STEM professional? So keep those in mind. Here's one other one. I didn't see any current opportunities here, but it is a resource you can check out. Maybe they'll post something. So those are options to consider. So what are you going to do? You're going to actually do a quick presentation for your classmates. Again, screenshots, supplemental materials that maybe you collected at the conference or they provide links to in a virtual PD. You can take screenshots of some of the things that they've included, or you can take some of the actual event if you're participating in a webinar. Those of you that went to OSTA, you may not have, obviously photographs that you took while you were there or screenshots, but you could refer back to some of the materials that you actually were able to get at the conference. So no more than 10 minutes, again, a video. And we're going to actually use these for a gallery walk for our final week of class. So these you'll have to submit in a way that we can share them. So we'll start with submitting them on Canvas, and then we'll put them in a spot where we will set it up so that as part of your final project, you'll be checking out at least one other person's presentation. So there's some information here on how this will be scored, and let me know if you have any questions about this assignment. So I look forward to seeing you again next week.